here as well. Okay. I think I've launched everything, surprisingly, perhaps. Yay, we are rolling. We are rolling. Okay, I'm just gonna wait. Hey Direwolf, hi, good to see you. Welcome. I have launched everything. Yay. Hey, thank God. Hi Zoe. Phew, that's a major relief. Hello. Hello everybody, welcome. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Let me know. Let's just wait for the crowd together, hopefully. Happy Friday to you too, Laura. It's good to see you. Oh, yes, I do. I do like reading manga. Not as much as I used to back in my youth. But yeah, I do read it from time to time when I'm in the mood. I was actually reading One Piece in Polish the other day because I bought one volume in Polish and I was like, okay, let me see if I can figure out what's going on. And yeah, I could, which is good. Means I haven't lost it yet. I still got it, still got my Polish skills. Which, by the way, it's a very good way to learn a language by reading stuff like that. It's not too complicated, just like any comic book. And it's just something you could use, to brush up on your language skills and learn some new words if you're feeling like it. Hello, Kathleen. I am okay. How are you? And hi, William. Good to see you. To everybody, we're also live on YouTube. Just a reminder, we will be looking at some things today. We will be looking at some images, Right. So if you'd like to join us on YouTube, you could do that too. The link is in the bio. Hi, Helena. Hi, Dana. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. The shirt, I know, the shirt rocks. I mean, what can I say? I cannot deny that, so thank you. So, yeah. We are currently looking at the still pretty chill map of the air raid alerts over Ukraine. For now, it's more or less fine, but we had a horrible, horrible night, especially in some parts of the country, mainly Kiev, our capital city. It even made the front pages of some European newspapers. And whenever that happens, something truly awful must have happened, because we're getting striked every single day, right? But most of the times it doesn't really make it into the media anymore. And when it does, you just know, yeah, it's bad. And it was really bad, unfortunately. But yeah, we will get into this in a couple minutes. Let me see. Currently everything is good. Well, as good as it can be, I guess. Let me also pour myself some tea. I hope you guys like the cup. It has little birds on it. Traditional Japanese birds. So a lot of you may already recognize this one. One of the many wonders of the 300 yen stores all across Japan. Trump increased tariffs on Canada. Trump has increased tariffs on everything. He has increased tariffs. He was on fire. He also gave an ultimatum to Russia, and then he beefed with Dmitry Medvedev, former Russian president, on Truth Social. And then he also, I guess, kind of leaked our casualties, Ukrainian casualties, because he was talking about the Russian casualties, and then he said that Russians lost 14 times more people compared to Ukraine. So he's been on a roll. He's been on fire with with all of his statements, as always. But then again, it's Trump. Do we really expect anything else from him? So anyway, let's see. What did we have? We had a pretty terrible attack on Kiev yesterday. It was a missile and a drone strike, and a residential building was hit directly, and 31 people died in that attack, including 5 children. And this is why I said, it's extra awful when it makes its way into the European media. That usually means children die, because adults dying, it's not really, front page worthy anymore. So unfortunately, we have lost 31 people last night in Kiev. Let me see. We have had, I think, some images of the building destroyed. This is what's left of that nine-story building. The bodies being evacuated. By this point in time, they have already worked through the debris, so thankfully there won't be any more casualties announced. But yeah, it's obviously absolutely devastating. This is one of the families that was killed in the yesterday's attack. This is a family, so a mom, Irina Humenyuk, and two of her daughters, Alina and Anastasia. They lived in that building that was hit by the missile. They were the temporarily displaced people from Donetsk Oblast, so they were from Donbass originally. First, they had to flee from Donbass to Kharkiv, which is in the eastern Ukraine, and then from Kharkiv, they had to flee to Kiev in 2022. And this is where the Russian missiles still found them. So the Russian aggression destroyed their lives several times before it finally took their lives, which was absolutely just so many levels to this horror. There are actually many stories like this, unfortunately, many stories of people trying to move away from Donbass or from other war-torn, well, because now it's not just Donbass, right? We have more regions that are the frontline regions, people trying to move, people trying to create new life for themselves, taking their children to safety, and then, yeah, unfortunately, the missiles find them. I think I had a video, let me see. This is a video of a man getting evacuated from the debris. He was in his apartment when the building collapsed after the strike. And yeah, the rescuers were trying to unblock him from the debris in Kiev. Yeah, they did manage to get him out, which is good. Lukashenko, jump scare. So, yeah, and this is just more pictures from the site of this attack. As you can see, the rescuers working and the firefighters working. The cat was evacuated too, because the animals obviously are not safe from these attacks. Yeah, everybody, just devastating stuff, unfortunately. Good to see you, everybody. We found the drone today, which flew in Lithuania. Wait, you found the drone? Wait, what happened? Do you agree the current government is corrupt and has been corrupt with the aid they have been given? No, not with the aid. Not with the aid. Thank you, Big Hog. Good to see you. This is a very common propaganda trope that it's the aid that was being stolen. No, it was never the aid. You see, we also have our national budget. I know it's surprising for a lot of people, but we do have our national budget. Yeah, we also still have some manufacturing in the country, and we have business in the country, and we have the border, and we have trade, and we have Highland, thank you. We have all of these things, so many opportunities to be corrupt. Unfortunately. In fact, with the foreign aid arriving, we have seen some improvements. We have seen some great improvements, actually, because it allowed for some sort of trackings, a mechanism to be established where, well, first and foremost, it was all heavily supervised, and also it allowed, in a certain way, to reveal the other corruption as well, and to help fight this corruption too. So, do you think they were stealing, the javelins and selling them to the cartels? Thank you, Henrik, and thank you, Big Hawk. Thank you. Appreciate you. Trump is gonna build the new ballroom wing to White... Oh, Christ. I don't even know if you're joking, or is this true? That's the news climate we're existing in, because you don't even know if something like this is true or not. Jesus. Okay, we're gonna get back to Lukashenko in a In a minute. In a minute. We still have some horrible things, unfortunately, to discuss. Let me see. Military found the drone. Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful news. I mean, it's surprising that it took so long. It's been, 3 days, right? But it's good that they did. So I guess, as I like to say, a win is a win. Trump just announced 2 nuclear submarines positioned in regions near Russia. But really? Really? Oh my god, let me see. On Truth Social. Wait, where is my account that reposts his Truth Social posts? Trump. What was the name of that account? Truth Social, I think. I followed you on purpose. Thank you. Let me see. Is this? No, that's not the one. There's a lot of things. Okay, now the most recent repost on this one is from an hour ago. This is where he, thank you, where he said that 20,000 Russian soldiers died. Wait, is there another one? Oh, come on. Why did I follow that thing even? Truth Social. There's so many accounts dedicated to reposting Trump's Truth Social. Is it this one? Fan Donald J. Trump post from Truth Social. Thank you. Okay, 15 minutes ago. Great news for North Carolina. Is it this one? No, I don't think that's the one. Wait. Oh, he truths too much. You gotta stop truthing. I've just been... Okay, that's the same. Is this the one? About the 20,000... I'm seeing the same thing. The rockets, the... Okay, maybe I just cannot find it. Maybe it's for the best, honestly. Honest to God. At this point, I don't even know what to expect from this guy. Okay. Sorry, guys. No truth for us. Hi, Scrunch. Good to see you. Irish tea. Oh, that's wonderful. Herwem Slava. Good to see you. We're also live on YouTube, everybody. Just a reminder, just a heads up. Oh my god. The decoy. Oh, okay, so it was the decoy. Okay, that's good. That's good news. That at least it wasn't carrying any explosives, I guess. That's a good one. It landed in military polygon. Oh my god. Interesting coincidence. I'm sure it was an accident. It just randomly flew into the country and then randomly hit the polygon because, you know. Ay. Why does your bio say you're 74 years? Wait, do I not look oh my god, do I look old? Do I look 86? No. My skincare routine sucks these days. Okay, it's the sleepless nights, everybody. One thing that I can tell you regarding Trump is that, so he and Medvedev started beefing, and this was a wonderful event in our lives. So he truthed some time ago, I don't care what India does with Russia, and we'll get to India, by the way. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care. Okay. We have done very little business with India. Their tariffs are too high, among the highest in the world. Likewise, Russia and the USA do almost no business together. Let's keep it that way. Oh, thank you, resilient son. Let's keep it that way and tell Medvedev, the failed former president of Russia, who thinks he's still president, to watch his words. He's entering very dangerous territory. Trump, Truth, on Truth Social. And you already know that Medvedev had some things to say back because that's the only reason for his existence, I think, by this point in time. Where is he? I lost his glorious Telegram channel. So of course he saw the post and he said, regarding the threats coming from Trump to me from his personal Truth network, the one that is prohibited from working in our country. Okay. Well, to be fair, we from Ukraine also cannot enter Truth Social. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad. It's hard to say. If any words of the former president of Russia, meaning himself, are causing such a nervous reaction from such a scary president of the United States, it means Russia is correct, right about everything, and will continue walking its own path. And about the dead economy of India and Russia and entering the dangerous waters, well, he should remember his favorite movies about the Walking Dead. I don't know. I don't think Trump has ever said that those are his favorite movies. Oh, wait. And maybe about and this, I didn't understand the reference, but like the danger of the non-existent in the nature, dead hand, laughing emoji, full stop. I don't know what that meant. Okay, I guess. Yeah, that was very pathetic. But I think this is the first politician beef on social media we have seen, like the one like this that we have seen, at least in a while, or maybe at all, because I don't remember anything like this happening. You know, then this is what the rappers are doing, right? You expect like Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, or like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, or Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma, no, Nicki Minaj versus the world, or Zelia Banks, right? Or these people, the rappers, or who else is beefing? Bloggers, Logan Paul, right? You don't expect this type of stuff from people who have nuclear arsenals at their disposal. But yeah, we're here. This is the timeline that we're in, everybody. I hope you're glad. Right? I know. Insanity, extravaganza. Have you heard about the shite the Russian embassy in Warsaw tried to promote on their website? Oh Christ, no, I honestly haven't, because I'm trying my best not to keep up with their embassies. Their embassies across the world is such a nuisance to everyone's sanity. I can only imagine. Let me guess. They never committed any war crimes. What, they're protecting children of Donbass, or Poland isn't real, something like that, right? It could be anything, honestly. Well. Yeah, regarding India, let us see. We actually had an interesting article from Bloomberg talking about, so the headline reads, "Ships with Russian oil idle off India as refiner seeks steer." So basically Trump's announcement of these, secondary sanctions, tariffs, thank you James, call them what you will, apparently have spooked some ships with Russian oil. At least 4 oil tankers laden with Russian crude are waiting off India's western coast as the Asian country's purchases of the commodity come under the spotlight amid pressure from the US and European Union. Oh, that's interesting. What an interesting situation. I'm not entirely sure if we can, consider this a win, but okay, I guess it's good. The vessels had picked up cargoes in late June. Hi, Maddie, good to see you. In late June, and hi, Jim, thank you. From Primorsk and Ust-Luga. Ust-Luga, it's the one that's near St. Petersburg that we keep talking about. It has some of their most modern facility for some of the most modernized Russian oil infrastructure, where Russia's flagship Urals crude is usually loaded. Both tankers have been sanctioned by the EU and the UK. More than a third of India's oil imports come from Russia, well, we know that, and the flows have made headlines in recent weeks, beginning with a fresh round of EU sanctions in mid-July, and this week the Trump administration cited the purchases as a reason to hit India with hefty import tariffs. We remember that. We remember the tariffs on India talk, and also threatened more unspecified penalties for taking the oils. New Delhi has since asked refiners to devise and share plans on sourcing crude from elsewhere. I wonder what this means. I wonder if it actually means that they will stop purchasing Russian oil, or that they're currently drastically thinking of a plan to, hide it even more, to maybe perhaps not buying it directly off of Ust-Luga and what was the second one, Primorsk, but also using some sort of intermediary here. Maybe that's going to be the plan. We'll see, because a third of oil, that's a lot of oil. So what are we going to do about that? That's an interesting question. Anyway, but yeah, I think this is the first result. This is the first result that we have seen of of this new package of tariffs, sanctions, you know. Oh well. Hello, we're doing fine. How are you? Already talked about some horrible things. Okay, there's an exhibition in the Russian embassy in Warsaw that showcases the damage the Ukrainians done. Okay, so the damage Ukrainians done in Mariupol. This is the very interesting strategy of, okay, so you are not denying that the crime occurred outright. You're saying it occurred, but it wasn't you who did it. It was the Ukrainians who did it. This is also a very common tactic. So, yeah, I mean, I was really surprised that the Russian embassy would do something like this. I would be more surprised if the Russian embassy was like, you know what, we did a horrible thing in Mariupol. We leveled Mariupol. We killed tens of thousands of people, most of whom didn't even have a proper burial. Most of them were either thrown into a mass grave that was so big it was seen from the satellites, or they were just thrown into the freaking dumpster when we were demolishing their houses and building the new ones to create this Potemkin's village, this perfect facade, and show everyone, look how fun and amazing Russian occupation is, right? That would be surprising if they admitted to those things. I would be like, wow, what happened? The hell froze over. But no, they're not going to do that, obviously. All right. Okay. The drone is getting closer to here. I don't like this. It's already above Zhytomyr. And I don't like them altogether, but yeah. Okay, we'll see. You can place your bets now on whether or not the drone will reach us. Hi, Dave. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, I don't think I'm seeing all the messages. But you know, TikTok is doing this stuff to me from time to time. Yeah, the abducted children files we've talked about last stream, they did. They did, yes. It did happen. I've already complimented my home region's wonderful cybersecurity. Shout out to Crimean Occupational Authority for being awful at cybersecurity. We also had another horrible thing coming from Kherson. So Kherson is the southern Ukrainian city that is under daily shellings. We talk a lot about Kherson. Yesterday there was a woman was killed. A mother of 3 was killed in the Russian attack on Kherson. And her 3 daughters are now left. They're now orphans without their mother. And when a Ukrainian news Telegram channel posted these news, it was shared by a major Russian propaganda channel, and they made sure to spam the reaction to this information with happy faces, because yeah, this is, and also the whales, that's also something that they do, which is interesting, right? For people who are claiming they're liberating the Russian-speaking people of Ukraine. What an interesting reaction for someone who is so cool and nice and humane. Oh god, this is Sir Anthony Hopkins. Okay, now we're gonna let me see. 1943 Ukrainian war crimes. That is no propaganda. The thing about the massacres and awful things of the past is that they have happened in the past. And they have been absolutely atrocious and awful, right? And we can all agree on that. But also, to bring this up while we're discussing the actual massacre that is happening right now of the very real people, I don't think that's very tactful of you, Wojtek. I don't think that's very nice. So, I know you're not aiming to be nice or tactful or caring. You're most likely not even a real person, let's be honest with ourselves. But, come on now. Come on. I am not denying anything, ever. I'm always trying to keep it real, and I always try to speak of these things with as much clarity, you know, and give everyone justice. But at the same time, also let's remember, let's make sure that our priorities are clear, right? The people who are suffering right now should be the priority. The people who, okay, what am I trying to do here? But also, this reminds me, Zelensky had a phone call with the newly elected Polish president. Wait, where did he go? He's right here, looking civil for once. Most of the times he doesn't, if I'm being honest. But yeah, they had a phone call where the president-elect has also actually pointed that out, the topic of the Volyn massacre. So Polish president pledges aid to Ukraine, raises historical demands during call with Zelensky. That's on the topic, hi Suzanne, thank you, that we have already discussed last time, right? We have talked about all of these. Why these issues between Ukraine and Poland cannot be solved, why the incompetence and deafness on our side and the just mutual push for populism takes over, and there's just these issues cannot be unfortunately settled. It continues. Anyway, they had a phone call. I guess that's a good start. Hopefully it will lead to something productive. President of Ukraine Zelensky has had his first telephone conversation with the elected president of Poland, Karol Nawrocki. Conversation took place on Zelensky's initiative. And he congratulated Nawrocki on his victory in the presidential election. Karol Nawrocki emphasized that cooperation between the two countries should be based on mutual respect and sincere partnership. Russia is a neo-imperial colonial state, thank you, Direwolf, under the leadership of war criminal Vladimir Putin. So Ukraine, which is fighting against the Kremlin regime, can count on Poland's support, the statement said, which is, thank you, Zoe. It's wonderful, and this just showcases the priorities. This should be the top priority, so I think it's a good step. But one of the central topics of conversation was historical politics. Nawrocki stated that he is the voice of the nation, which demands a change in Ukraine's approach to important and still unresolved historical issues. Okay, they didn't say outright, but they mean Volyn. It's always Volyn. That has to change. Yep, it does. Of course it has to change. The elected president announced that historical issues will be topics of further conversations with the president of Ukraine, as it should, right? They are paid, these people are paid to resolve this stuff. We have ministries of culture, we have ministries of education, we have presidents and we have prime ministers and all of these other politicians who are receiving a lot of money to handle this type of issues for us. And hopefully they will, because this is getting ridiculous, honestly. In the big 2025, we cannot solve something like this. I cannot. I just can't. I'm done, everybody. But anyway, why did I bookmark it twice? Okay, one is in Polish. All right. So yeah, thank you, Wojtek, for reminding me about. And hi, Darce. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, thank you everybody for tapping the screen. Thank you for sharing. Hi Scooter, good to see you. And thank you for joining me on YouTube and following me on YouTube. This is also really, really appreciated. Right, I know. We are supposed to learn from the past. I used to believe that this is the main goal. That this is what we're all doing, actually, that we're actively learning from the past. Well, recently, I have found out that no, we're not actually doing that. We've been pretending. Well, some of us, not all of us. There was a significant chunk of us that has been pretending they have learned things when in reality they haven't learned anything, and now the rest of us has to suffer because of that. So, I know. Anyway, I had some other topics. Trump again. Jesus. That's the one about the casualties. Okay, the video of Sir Anthony Hopkins, everybody, just to lighten up the mood. So, Kim Kardashian, I know. Hi, JJS, thank you. I know, before you come at me. So, she released those tapes that apparently you wrap around your head and they make you look younger. They have this, like, rejuvenating effect. I don't know. Kim, please read the room for once. Nobody cares about your rejuvenating tapes. We are at war. Anyway, so yeah, they're now turning apparently in a sort of a meme because Sir Anthony Hopkins posted a video with him trying thank you, Anne, the rejuvenating tape. And of course he ended up looking like Hannibal Lecter. It's Sir Anthony Hopkins we're talking about. So here's just a short video of him being silly.
Hello, Kim. I'm already feeling 10 years younger.
That's That's just the type of stuff that makes me really happy. At first I thought it was AI, but then I saw his, and I was like, no AI could ever possibly imitate something like that. So, Vicky, hi Vicky. Trump just announced he will place. Zoe just told me about the submarines with nuclear weapons near Russia, but I couldn't seem to find it. Let's see, maybe we can refresh the feed and see something. But my feed has been insane recently. We have the chocolate Labubu person. Okay, yes, I see it. I see it, everybody. It was even pinned on the fan Donald J. Trump Truth Posts account. Okay, based on the highly provocative statements of the former... Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I think this is the first time somebody used the nuclear submarines in an internet beef. Genuinely, what? Okay. Well, obviously, we all understand, right? We all understand that this is not because of Medvedev, right? This is not because he got triggered by Medvedev. This is just him, I don't know, using this as a fun occasion to make sure that Medvedev gets beaten up in his basement by the FSB agents tonight. As the rumor says, apparently it's a very often occurrence. But anyway, I believe this was something in the making for a while, because remember last stream we were looking at the news of the US moving the nuclear warheads to the UK, right, for the first time since the Cold War. And now we have the submarines, so obviously two are connected. It's not, unfortunately, not because of Medvedev, but wouldn't it be nice if it was? Oh God. There's this stupid rumor that, so everybody knows that Medvedev drinks very heavily, right? He drinks a lot, and actually this was his main activity in the last couple of years after his presidency, whatever. And there is this stupid rumor, I don't know how actually stupid this is, but it exists, that once he gets really drunk, the FSB agents beat him up, and it's all filmed, and the footage is being sent to Putin of drunk Medvedev getting beaten up, and that apparently Putin finds it entertaining. So if that's actually the case, I guess someone's in for a beating tonight. Oh no, Дима. Дима, ай-яй-яй, что ж такое? Как же так? Ай, Димон. There was this famous investigation, anti-corruption investigation by the Navalny team about him years ago. It was called "Он вам не Димон," like don't you dare call him Dimon, because Dimon is like a lowbrow version of Dmitry if you speak Russian. If you're super friendly with someone named Dmitry, you can call them Dimon, but also if you're like kind of, condescending towards them, you can also call him Dimon. Dimon. I've been learning Ukrainian history, says Kura. Well, that's wonderful. Had no idea the amount of past conflicts between Poland and... Oh, yes. Oh, there's been a lot. There's been so many things. But then again, to be fair, we're not very special in this regard, because I think this is pretty much any neighboring countries. If you take any couple countries in Europe that happen to neighbor each other, there's like hundreds of years of non-stop war and bloodshed and everyone murdering each other. So yeah, we're not really unique in that regard. But the way it has been used, and it has been mishandled and weaponized and just approached with complete and utter incompetence. I'm talking currently, when I talk about incompetence, I mean by our side. I genuinely believe it's mostly incompetence and not malice. It's just tiring. It's so tiring. Could have been handled so much better. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you liked the borscht. Thank you. Yay. And your friend loved it too. That's a win. That's a big win in this household. To those of you who haven't seen my borscht video, please go and see the borscht video on YouTube, okay? I've already had some very good reviews. Thank you, Nick. A lot of positive feedback. A lot of people being very happy with my borscht, which some of the comments made me cry on that video. But I have been very emotional recently, so maybe it's the allergy medicine. I don't know. He needs to listen to his own advice regarding words having Oh, you mean Trump? Oh no, of course he's not gonna. He's not gonna. If you just take a look at his Truth Social account, I didn't even know there were as many words as he's posting every single day. I don't think he remembers the thing that he posted like an hour ago. It's just, it continues, it's like a slop. Who needs ChatGPT when you have this guy? He just continues manufacturing this endless word slop. So wait, what happened? Oh God, what happened in the chat? Can we please be civil? I'm not entirely sure what is going on. I'm seeing something happening I don't understand. Please, for the love of God. Again, we now also have the second YouTube chat, which is very, very mellow, very calm. I'm currently looking at it. Look, it only has a couple people in it. You can come there, and it's please. It's really, really quiet in the YouTube chat. I've seen an AI Insta reel, says Matt, of Trump belly dancing. Now, why would you put this image into my head, Matt? Why would you do that to me? Have I ever wronged you? Have Ukrainian military managed to hold on that city encircled? Okay, so Pokrovsk is not fully encircled. Let us go to Pokrovsk real quick. Pokrovsk. There we are. So if you are currently on YouTube, you can see it, right? You can see that the situation is getting pretty critical, but it's not encircled, because if it were encircled, then these the red claws that you're seeing trying to surround it, they would have already closed down. Oh, hi, Carolyn. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good alternative, right? The YouTube chat. We now have the YouTube chat. It's all nice and chill up here, so I don't know. Right, Willem? Exactly. Come on. We also have the YouTube chat now, everybody. Anyway, back to Pokrovsk we go. So the situation is very dangerous, but it's not the full encirclement, right? This is not the cauldron, which we have unfortunately seen in the past, especially in the beginning stages of the war in 2015. We have seen some awful instances of that. This is not the first situation like this, like almost, thank you, Wen, like near encirclement, right? Very close to the place being encircled that we have seen in the last couple of years. This is what tends to happen when you hold on and you hold the ground until the very last moment, and then you try to withdraw. And it's a very risky tactic, but it has been applied by our general staff. It's believed to be the best one for reasons that I don't really know because I'm a civilian. Yeah, but we have unfortunately already seen stuff like this happening. The Russians have been spotted inside the city. There was this video that we have discussed before of an ambush of our forces and some of our guys getting killed. And apparently it took some of our forces by surprise, which is very bad. And then after that, there were no in-depth information regarding like the situation on the ground in Pokrovsk, but one can guess that it's pretty bad. So, but yeah, it's not a cauldron, so I guess it's good. And as you can see, this is how they advanced in many parts of the front line. Right? It's the same here, it's the same here, it's the same here, it's the same just pretty much anywhere. Anywhere they make any sort of gains, this is how they move forward, the Russians. Oh well. Right. It's super chill. So yeah, if you guys believe that the TikTok is too much, or you would like to see the map of me showing all of the areas being almost encircled, which is not funny, I know. You can come to YouTube and look at the stuff with us. Scott says, I have both YouTube and TikTok. Oh, thank you, Scott. That's very, very much appreciated. And I'm really glad you like YouTube. Yeah, so I've heard people are saying that it's better to watch on YouTube from your laptop. And also, yeah, just if you like to see what's going on. But yeah, this is the Pokrovsk situation. If you look up close, if you're seeing these little gray areas that are pointed on the map, one thing to keep in mind, by the way, that the map is not updated like hourly. It's updated, sometimes it's delayed by days, sometimes it might be delayed by weeks, because they are, from what I have read and understood, they are in pretty close coordination with our general stuff. So in some directions, they're not updating map just, immediately, and sometimes it takes a while for the map to be updated. But this is to reflect, by the way, I think I can draw on this. Let me try and draw. Haha, I can draw. I don't know if it's good or not. For instance, this little part right here, looking like a tentacle. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is, I believe, to reflect on this recent, Russian penetration into the city that we have seen. Even if watching on the phone, I tend to... Well, thank you, Maddie. Thank you so much. I think YouTube, yeah, just in general, it's kind of better. It's kind of more practical, I think. And of course, both chats are great, just different. Okay, so let me just... I forgot what I wanted to say. This is what happens when I try to load multiple things at once, and no, the brain stops processing. All right, the Pokrovsk. I wanted to say something important. Okay, maybe I'll remember later. Let me keep up with the TikTok chat. It was also very nice and important. Girl, what do you say about communism? Not real, sweetie. Unfortunately, I know we've tried before. Реально, дуже багато. Але актив також, мені здається, краще, ніж на Ютубі. Wait, what's happening? Is the war still on? Yes, Dan Bros, and it's expanding. Let me see. I know, right? You would think we would have learned by the 21st century, but we haven't. Many media outlets were acting like keeping Pokrovsk through 2024 was an impossible feat. Yeah, it was this constant back and forth with Pokrovsk in particular, because I wonder why. But there was a lot of hysteria surrounding it. First, they were saying, okay, it's good. It's about to fall. I think back in December 2024, they're like, okay, couple weeks, it's gonna go. It will fall by the New Year's. It's gonna be gone. Then the situation stabilized. So we have already been through this just insane back and forth, ups and downs with Pokrovsk. So, emotional roller coaster, if you wish. But yeah. Okay, I don't know what I was trying to... I wanted to make a point and then I forgot, unfortunately. But... Okay, one good thing about this map, to those of you who haven't seen this map before, the Deep State map, you can actually track the advancements. For instance, if we go to July 1st and we compare it to today, you can see the Russian advancements and the gains they have made, which when you just read them as numbers on the internet and the media, I don't think it has the same effect as whenever you see this just gradually encroaching on the territory, and especially when you realize that there's a lot of blood being spilled for every single square meter of that land. But yeah, these are just the overall advancements in that area while we were looking at it. And also another reason why I like this map is you can see all of the approximate positions of the Russian forces in the regions, and I believe even the defense lines if I click on something. Wait. Yes. the red ones, for instance, this is the enemy defense lines. So yeah, in the south, as you can see, it's pretty bad. It's not all of them from what I could tell, but look at that. Look at the these are all their defense lines. Ah, Christ. Thank you, Maddie. I wanted to... Okay, wait, Deb remembers something. I wasn't I? Okay, just a moment. Let me just see. Is Medvedev and Hegseth the same person? They might be. I'm afraid. But no, I think I was trying to make a point about when I was looking at the Zvirova was talking, I think I wanted to make a point about the gray areas, and I think I already made it. Anyway, I got confused. But yeah, you can look at their defense lines, and this is pretty impressive. Thankfully, it doesn't show our defense lines, which is good. It shouldn't be, but it gives you the idea of what we're dealing with. And also, when you remember that a lot of these are actually like reinforced. These are not just trenches. There has been equipment used to build those. There has been concrete used in many instances, and yeah, they have been solidifying those pretty much ever since they have taken over these regions. So yeah, all right. Let me just go back. And while we're on the topic of the defense lines, thank you, Alan. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, guys. Let me just go back. I got confused again. There was a very good article by the Wall Street Journal inside Ukraine's effort to fortify hundreds of miles of defensive lines, and it basically goes into how recently we have been intensifying that effort and how the effort has been ongoing since 2022, right? There is a lot of digging involved. There is some height, as I get to see you. There is a lot of digging. In some areas, there is the concrete reinforcements, and yeah, so the attempts are being made. We're aiming to build 3 lines of defenses depending on the parts of the front. You can also see the infamous teeth of the dragon. It's these concrete triangles in the picture. And yeah, I know, but it's something. It's better than nothing. And they have proven to be relatively effective against the tanks, so what are you going to do? And yeah, it also talks about the issues that we're facing while trying to do this. And the issues are the enemy shellings and the enemy advancements. The issues are also they have to do with the corruption problems within the country. And so if you separate the defense efforts into 3 categories, there is the first one, which is the soldiers basically digging the trenches out by themselves, which unfortunately is too common. Then there is the second category, and that is the reinforced defense lines with the equipment, with the engineering, with the concrete, with anything that is being used, with the additional measures being taken. And then there is also the third category, and this is the regional officials' attempt to fortify their regions, frontline regions by themselves. And yeah, that the third one is where issues tend to arise because yeah, they be stealing, to put it simply, and this presents a problem. I really like this picture with the guy and cows and a little dog, and then there is this line of defense, the reinforcement with the wires and the teeth of the dragon. Oh God. Also, this quote really stood out to me. "Our regiment will continue building," the soldier said, "even after the conflict is over. I failed to protect my children from war. At least I will protect my grandkids." Oh, you guys, I know. Pretty devastating stuff. The YouTube is linked in the bio, everybody. It's the same handle as on here, but it's also linked. The first one on the link tree is my YouTube channel where we're looking at stuff. And I'm usually double streaming. If I'm live on here, I'm also live on YouTube, and on YouTube you can see the things I'm talking about, which is good. Some people like it. Some people don't, so. All right. Who did I miss? Did I miss some people? I think I have not. Okay. think I have kept up with the chat pretty good. Okay. And currently, to those of you who are new to the chat, we're looking at the map of the air raid alerts currently across Ukraine, with some explosions in Kharkiv. Wait, what's happening in Kharkiv? Okay, there was a drone strike in Kharkiv. The Thunderbolt drone hit Kharkiv. It was just reported 3 minutes ago. So no information on casualties or anything yet. Oh God. And we also had some additional details. So this is the family that we have discussed, the family of the people from Makiivka, from Donbass, who were killed in the yesterday's strike, mother and her 2 daughters. And there was also information about another, one more person who was killed. So 31 person was killed in yesterday's attack, right? And one of the people was a doctor, a neurologist. This is him. His name was Roman Moskalenko, and yeah, this is a result of the missile strike. He was 39 years old. So yeah, we will be getting more information on the names and the stories of the people who killed, I imagine, in the upcoming hours and days. So yeah, to those of you who are just joining, we had a pretty devastating strike yesterday on Kiev, with the missile hitting a residential building, 31 people dead, including 5 children. Oh, welcome, Arne. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you can now see the screen. We're now looking at the families, but before that we were looking at the map. Let me see. I also wanted to see, what is he saying? Okay, this is Zelensky with his daily message. No, he is talking about the strike. So the main topic is the strike still. So 31 people dead, including kids born in 2007, 2011, right, 2014, 2018, and even 2022. So we had babies killed by our neighbor yesterday. Okay. All right, let me just compose myself, everybody, real quick, and then we will move on. Just a moment. I just keep thinking about all of the people. Like, when I read stories like these of the families from Donbass who fled and then fled again and then were killed. We've had so many conversations like this with people from different regions, with people who kept asking us why we left for Western Ukraine, because there was a lot of confusion. Back in like 2015, 2016, if you told people from the east and the south that you moved for the west, there was a lot of very genuine confusion. Like, why would you do that? What? Why didn't you go to Kharkiv? Why didn't you go to Odessa? Why didn't you go to Kherson? Why didn't you go to Kiev? And there are so many Crimeans who did go to Kiev, and so many of them who bought properties in Kiev region. The one that I think many of you remember was temporarily occupied, and the one where some of the worst massacres of this war have occurred. I don't know, keep thinking about them. Whenever I see these stories of these people who were displaced. Oh well. Rest in peace. Hello everybody. Yeah, the Trump nuclear submarine thing we have already briefly mentioned, and the fact that this apparently followed his thank you Zoe. This followed his beef with Medvedev, but we all in this chat, we understand this was not because of his beef with Medvedev. It was because it was a part of the plan. It was an ongoing situation. Last time we talked about the United States moving their nuclear weapons to the UK. So it's all been in the process for a while. But it's fun to see it being framed as an internet beef, because we can imagine they're Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, and this would be just so much more entertaining. All right. But yeah, this was his truth on Truth Social. Christ. The fact that we have to unironically use Truth Social as a source of information in the big 2025, it's killing me daily. Just a piece of my heart and soul evaporates whenever whenever this happens again. And yeah, also, by the way, before that, I forgot to mention, while we're on the topic of Trump jump scare everybody. Apologies for that. Among many other things that he said, he also said that he wants to bring the war to an end by August 8th of August. Today is August 1st, to those of you who do not know. How are we planning on achieving that? By using the 2 nuclear submarines? Who knows? I really doubt that it's possible, but yeah, he did say that this is what he wants. Okay, cool, thank you. Sure. But also this puts into perspective immediately the statement we discussed last time from Donald Tusk, the Polish Prime Minister, when he said, oh, we might have the ceasefire, the actual ceasefire in Ukraine in the upcoming days. So was he talking about this, whatever it is that Trump has in mind? Probably. But also remember, right, this is what they have been saying for a very, very long time. So I myself am very skeptical about all of their statements. So this is the footage from the yesterday's strike on Kiev, filmed by a person living in Kiev. You can see it's looking pretty apocalyptic, just flashes in the sky above the city. And then you can just see the smoke rising. I don't think we can hear the sound on this one. Just someone. When I saw that, I immediately thought that it looks like Oreshnik, but it wasn't Oreshnik, it was the Iskander. The one that I do not believe we can intercept. Or at least the one that we have been struggling with intercepting. It's hard for me to say the exact, stats on Iskander. I do know that it's considered to be one of the best, deadliest missiles at Russia's disposal. And also it's the ones that are capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Okay. I know, Scott. I know. I cannot believe this has been my reality for such a long time. I just hate it. I hate it. I've been hating it for I've been in denial for the first couple of years. Since 2022, it's just, it's been so awful. Did you see the video of the lady who fell 9 stories after a strike? Yes. And survived with only broken leg and a missing tooth. That was a very surprising story. This is her, by the way. This is the lady that Scott is talking about. Let us look and listen to her.
Я була при тямі. Я просто була сонна і не розуміла, що відбувається. Я чула вибух, і через секунду я на землі.
So she says that she was conscious when this was happening. She heard the explosion, and the way she remembers it, she heard the explosion, and the next thing she remembers, then it was her on the ground, basically. She doesn't remember anything in between.
Я не знаю, як це взагалі. Як
she doesn't know how it happened.
Пролетіти 9 поверхів і залишитися.
How did it happen? How did she fly through 9 stories down and then just was okay?
Зі зломаною ногою.
With just a broken leg?
Я реально сиділа на ліжку. І просто впала разом з ним, і через це я не вдарилась, бо ліжко м'яке. Я не знаю.
She believes, but this is, once again, this is a person who is severely traumatized. I don't even know, is this ethical to conduct such interviews? Okay. Anyway, we're already looking at it. So she says that she believes that because she was on the bed, that maybe the bed softened the fall. But obviously, of course, she has no way of knowing what actually happened. But it's wonderful that she survived. Some might say is a miracle, actually. Reminded me of that one survivor from the plane crash of Air India. I immediately thought of that. But yeah, this is right. It's fascinating, truly. Is Ukraine short on? This is Chewy, everybody. Having I don't know what's happening to her now. Is Ukraine short on ammunitions, or we're still getting it from Europe and US? We're still getting some, and we're still short on them because there's not enough. No one in the world apparently is manufacturing enough ammunition to sustain a war like this. This was one of the many interesting revelations that we have had throughout the war. Regarding the overall preparedness of certain countries. Okay, we're not gonna shade anyone, and yeah, also the fact that the world has really relaxed, and everyone just sort of was like, we don't need manufacturing, we don't need gunpowder, we don't need ammo, we need Labubus. So yeah, well, guess what? There are countries that can do both. They can both do Labubu, and they can also manufacture missiles. I'm not gonna tell you what that country is, you will have to guess. Okay. Sorry, TikTok chat, let me try and keep up with you. I got distracted and sad, and distracted and sad. And of course it's not gonna end so soon. Of course, we all understand this, right? Gareth says, leaving because I arrived by accident and the casualties stress me. I know, Gareth. I know. They stress all of us out tremendously. Martins, there is a link. It says Linktree. And if you click on the Linktree, you can access the YouTube Live. And also there is an icon that says YouTube separately. So technically there are 2 links. But if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be, I guess. But but if you can, yes, it's all linked in the bio. YouTube, Instagram, the rest of them, you can just either click on the link tree, and in case of YouTube and Instagram, you can click on them separately as well and follow me. It's highly appreciated. And also you can see some of the stuff that I am showing. Also TikTok wants to throw me out, because of course it does. God. I don't know what it wants from me. Does it want me to tap on the screen? Because from time to time it sends me this notification that I'm being inactive, which is, if you are someone who is streaming on TikTok, there are very few ways of being active on, like, what am I... Okay, I just, no. This app still baffles me. Yes, we've also sent evidence of 10,000 Russian chemical attacks to The Hague, which is good. Also, I like this post because the image is not from The Hague. This image, Putin, The Hague is waiting for you, is famously, it's from Vilnius, it's from the capital of Lithuania. This wonderful message to Vladimir Putin from Lithuanians. But yeah, so the evidence of 10,000 Russian chemical attacks. I remember we got this question in the chat a couple weeks ago. Someone was like, oh, are they using chemical weapons? Like, yeah, they've been using them since forever, but now everybody knows this. I now understand why everybody knows this. So there is, yeah, we have sent the evidence. We've been collecting evidence. So we have documented over 10,000 Russian chemical attacks and submitted evidence to The Hague as pressure mounts for international action and accountability. Accountability. International action. This is hilarious, everybody. The Security Service of Ukraine has submitted evidence of The Hague documenting more than 10,000 incidents in which Russian forces allegedly used banned chemical agents against Ukrainian troops since the start of the full scale in 2022. SBU says Russia has used banned chemical weapons more than 10,000 times. Okay, why are you repeating? Because it's Kyiv Post. Sorry for using Kyiv Post, everybody. I'm not the big fan, but I thought that article was decent. I was wrong. Okay. But there were other sources reporting on that as well. So yeah, the materials were delivered to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons for laboratory analysis, marking the most comprehensive case Ukraine has presented so far in its push to hold Russia accountable for chemical war crimes. Which is interesting because the fact that we have the materials for that suggests that we're not using all of it, because the first chemical attack that we have heard of, it was documented in Mariupol. During the siege of Mariupol, and of course there is no way to access any materials from there, so it's probably way more than 10,000 actually. Oh well. According to the SBU, Russian forces have routinely used chlorobenzylidine, malonitrile, I don't know what that is, and also chloroacetophenone aerosol grenades, riot control agents prohibited in warfare, as well as ampoules. Thank you, Sammy. Hi. Containing the toxic compound chloropicrin. What? I'm so bad at chemistry. Walter White would be disappointed in me. These chemicals are frequently dropped by FPV drones to flush Ukrainian defenders from trenches or bunkers, making them vulnerable to conventional fire. Yeah, this is the main reason why they do this. It's also the main reason why the grenades, just regular grenades, are being used usually, so just to lure people out of the trench and then kill them. So, yeah, the highest number of attacks has been recorded in eastern Ukraine and during Russian assaults on the Nikopol district in Dnipropetrovsk region, the SBU reported. Yeah, and of course, I like this little side note. The 1993 Chemical Weapons Convention, which Russia signed, prohibits the use of these substances in an armed conflict. I know, maybe they just forgot. Maybe they could have forgotten, right? They could have just forgotten. I'm sure they would abide by the international conventions and the international law. We should be fighting using Labubus. I think we need a Labubu battalion, Labubu brigade, actually. The Labubu Brigade and the Lafufu Battalion, and I don't know, who are we gonna fight them with? North Koreans who are currently being sent, who are currently on their way to here. This is Zoe with the Chewy stickers. Thank you. Okay, let me try keep up with TikTok chat. Right, Josh, exactly. There has been so many reports of that, but I mean, finally they have been systematized, and I guess perhaps they could be but wait for it. We have to wait for it, because I'm sure this laboratory that they have sent it to, they will find a million ways to say, no, these are good chemicals. These are very good Russian chemicals, they're good for your health, and they were actually worried about, Ukrainian soldiers' health, and this chlorobenzeno, whatever hellish substance, it's good for their teeth, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, at this rate, considering how useless so many of these organizations have been. Where did I put this? Let me I have my gigantic jug of tea, everybody, as always, with me. I'm just gonna put it here. I cannot scroll. Have they used Novichok? No, this is not something that you use to lure people out of trenches. This is something that you use when you go sightseeing in Salisbury, when you want to go see a cathedral in the United Kingdom. Yeah, you just randomly carry that around with you. But yeah, it's for the targeted FSB assassinations most of the times. Novichok and similar agents that they have at their disposal. They have others too. But this is just the most famous ones, because they literally poisoned a town in the United Kingdom with it and got away with it, because of course. Alright. I know, right? Oh god. What's your take on the Russian economy? It holds. Everything I hear from there, it's nothing, nothing out of ordinary for them. So all of I don't know, for some reason it's always the extremes. It's either the people saying things are incredible, like you have Tucker Carlson's of the world, like the best bread, Russia has the best bread, the best supermarket, the cleanest subway. Which, okay, sure, you're getting paid to do this, I guess, whatever. And then you also have on the other side of the spectrum people saying, actually, it's awful, they have no food, they're eating dirt. No, none of this is actually true. They have succeeded in a way that it basically makes the war sort of unnoticed for the majority of the population. They just move on, they go on with their lives. Like, yeah, the inflation, okay, the eggs disappear from time to time. Well, the eggs also apparently disappear in the United States from time to time. Because I remember everybody having a meltdown collectively on Twitter like a month ago about that. So, but it's like the huge, it's nothing crazy. So the people don't really notice anything. They're like, okay, well, the prices are awful. Well, they've always been awful. So Coca-Cola disappeared. They now have Dobry Cola, whatever they call it. So, thank you, Al, for subscribing. Yay, appreciate it. Thank you for the support. So I don't think it's really noticeable to an average person. And most importantly for us, they still have enough to sustain the war effort. So, but then again, right? They're still actively selling the oil and natural gas to anyone they can. Are we really surprised? So, let's see. Okay, the drone is gone. The drone is gone, everybody. The drone that was over Zhytomyrska Oblast, the one that I'm pointing to right now, is no longer there. So that's a good thing. Alright, by the way, while we are talking about the UK and Salisbury and the Novichok poisonings, a short little video from BBC, of all people, that I wanted to briefly mention. Let me just... Why are you silent? About the disinformation campaigns that the Russians are doing using AI. So,
Why would the Russians choose me? Why would it be me that they've chosen out of all those thousands of videos that are out there on Facebook and Instagram?
Aaron's video was cloned by a Russian-linked influence operation to spread disinformation. It started with this real video, posted by the NHS.
Hello, my name's Aaron. I'm an emergency medical advisor and one of the 999
Such a nice
consultants
guy.
for the ambulance service.
AI was then used to create this fake video.
I have many friends who are paramedics in Poland, and all these specialists say one thing: they are terrified of the upcoming election because of the terrorist threat.
I didn't even know the Polish were having an election. I don't have any ties to Poland whatsoever.
The fake video is part of an extensive Russian disinformation campaign which we have been tracking for years. Previously, they impersonated dozens of media outlets, journalists and academics, but now seem to have broadened their tactics to exploit ordinary British citizens. Luckily for Aaron, his fake video didn't go viral, but there's no guarantee that another one won't.
So yeah, that's a relatively new one. The poor guy had no idea. He's just working for NHS. A video with him was posted on their social media account or something, and then the Russian AI network copied it and used his voice to talk about, to push the far-right propaganda about Polish elections. And which, on one hand, it's funny. On the other hand, it's absolutely terrifying because, yes, we're going to be seeing so much more of that. We're already seeing a ton of things like this. I was recently looking at some of the numbers. Apparently, about 50% of the internet is now dead. So it's bots most of the times. And with AI, yeah, it's going to grow even worse than that. So, yeah, just something to be on the lookout for. If you randomly hear a familiar voice, of your favorite announcer, favorite blogger, all of a sudden saying something. If you see a video of me, pushing Russian propaganda, you will know. You will know that this is AI. It's not actually me. Yeah, just something that I wanted to show you, everybody. Oh, hi Moo, good to see you. Yeah, the nuclear submarines has been the sensation. I wasn't even the one who broke the news. It was Zoe. Zoe broke the news in the chat. And then everybody also joined in. I think Vicky also talked about it. And yeah, we've already talked about that briefly. But remember, right, how last time we discussed that the US are increasing, thank you Beth, the nuclear weapons number in the UK, right? It was in the UK. So it's all a part of that, thank you Disco Dave, of that scheme. It's just funny to see it being tied in to his beef with Medvedev, but I couldn't imagine that this is something I would say. An internet beef of former Russian President Medvedev and current Russian President, that's a Freudian slip, the US President Trump beefing in 2025. Yeah, what a wonderful world we live in, I know. We're also live on YouTube, everybody, if anyone's just joining. And thank you to the TikTok team for tapping and sharing the stream. It's much appreciated. Apparently it gives it a boost. We are still to find out. We haven't really discovered if it's true or not. I guess for now my main goal would be to see whether or not it's gonna get pushed to my existing subscribers at least, because some of you might have noticed that every single stream we get people who are like, oh, you're still alive, I haven't seen you in such a long time. That's because it's not getting pushed to them. Well, it is getting pushed to them, but not as I guess not as fast as it could have been. We will test it. We will test it out. So thank you for the for boosting this thing. We will do a little experiment, I guess. Thank you, Josh. Thank you so much. All right. I think in the meantime, okay, yeah, so we have the air raid alert in the vicinity of Kyiv. I hope everything goes better for them than it did last night, because last night was devastating. What else did I want to talk about? One more look at the Putin, the hog is waiting for you poster from Vilnius. I love Vilnius, I miss it. I have to go back. Also, we just had a very bizarre situation with so previously we have had all of these problems with the Polish farmers, right? Because the Polish farmers have been very unhappy with a lot of cheap Ukrainian grain, flooding the market, dumping the prices, so the huge, right? And perhaps there was even, partially there was something to those complaints, because there were some shady doings happening behind the scene with some of our shady players and the Polish shady players. So we've discussed that before, but apparently now the Polish carriers are no longer happy, and people who are working the Polish logistics are also not happy, because they're now suffering losses because of the lack of Ukrainian grain. So it's the transport companies, farmers are okay now, right? But the transport companies, ports and transshipment terminals in Poland will suffer losses due to the lack of grain. Damn you, Ukrainians, it's your fault again. We understand that the inflow of Ukrainian raw materials, agriculture products and grain to the Polish market is bad and should never happen. However, we must distinguish between two things. Finally, someone's sane. So basically, that it's important to... Anyway, I'm not going to read the entire thing, it's boring, but it is very important to distinguish between the illegal, shady players in the market and the legal operations that have been allowed by law and should, of course, resume, because the problem was never the idea in itself. The idea in itself was that we were supposed to use the European countries for transit of the majority of our grain, and also we were supposed to sell some of it inside the market, I guess, according to the quotas that we have been given. And of course everything went to hell, because of course it did. It always does, for some bizarre reason. So it just should have been implemented. The system, it was a good idea, it wasn't implemented properly, and it should have been implemented, and then everyone would be fine, everyone would be square. No, it was turned into this whole problematic, complicated situation, and now we have the carriers being unhappy. I'm so tired of this, my god. William says, I have the notifications turned on for your TikTok, and YouTube is the only one that tells me you're alive. Thank you, William, for pointing that out. This is what I keep telling you guys, and you do not believe me. You're telling that YouTube does it. YouTube does it. YouTube sends you the notification. Okay, maybe it's 9 out of 10, but it's so much better than TikTok, because we've already been through this with TikTok like a million times. Remember how we were like, TikTok is supposed to send me the notification, right? So many of you were like, I've pushed the button, I did this, and then nothing. Radio silence, because TikTok hates us. We're all in the abusive relationship with TikTok, and we cannot get away because it's too damn addictive. But YouTube is better. YouTube is better, so if you can always go follow, and even if you're lucky, like William, you can receive a notification. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Another brilliant, incredible, wonderful piece from the Russian state media that, as many of you might remember, actually is the best media in the world, the only honest media in the world, the only media in the world that is free. It's the Russian media, and of course they're never ever evil. This is a headline from RIA Novosti stating, there is no other option, no one should remain alive in Ukraine. One thing that I like about this type of stuff resurfacing is that at least they're no longer lying, right? They're being more and more honest with their actual intentions, because back in the day it was about, we're just liberating, we're defending the Russian-speaking Ukrainians. We're defending the Donbass. We're defending we're pushing back against the NATO. Now they're just saying this out in the open. No one should remain alive in Ukraine. And there is also the picture of death flying above Ukraine, as they do, because it's literally them. It's literally Russians. They're a glorious army. So, yeah, they stopped lying for a second, which is wonderful. We love to see that. Darryl says YouTube also sends notifications through email. Okay, that's another incredible thing that YouTube does. I also tested on my parents. So we've tested this, and yeah, they both also got emails, so you might even get an email. Anyway, TikTok is doing this with a lot of Ukrainian creators. I'm not really sure about whether or not it's the Ukrainian thing. I wouldn't really, like, with me in particular, no, I'm not really posting much. Thank you, Daryl. I'm not really posting much. Oh, we have achieved the goal! Yay! Thank you, everybody. Have we? Almost. Okay, we almost have achieved. But thank you. With me in particular, it's also like, yeah, we can talk about the shadow banning and stuff. It's a whole different thing. And thank you, Zoe. Thank you so much. What was I trying? Thank you, everybody. I lost the train of thought. I was trying to be deep, and yeah, and that didn't work out, huh? Wanted to make an observation about TikTok, that it doesn't... Okay, I think with the notification, it's not just the Ukrainian creators' problem. I think it's the overall TikTok problem, and it's something that they have refused to fix for a while because... well, first and foremost, TikTok never really cared much about their creators. Let's be real with ourselves for a moment. And I think it's because of that. And also perhaps fixing that would be too troublesome for them. You know, people keep coming back to the app anyway. And if a couple creators get left behind, they cannot really be bothered. Last time we were talking, we discussed how they have just randomly demonetized a bunch of their ASMR creators just out of the blue. Because apparently there was something like some sexualized content or like AI content or whatever. Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Jay. And because of that, they have demonetized like all of their female ASMR creators. Female, interestingly. Which, yeah, it just goes to show that TikTok couldn't be bothered really with its creators. So it's just the way they do business, I guess. So... But also the algorithm is still the best, I think. It's still the best one out there for any type of organic growth, in my humble opinion. Okay, everybody. Right, Loris also points out that TikTok doesn't give notifications for any lives, right? Are people in Belarus behind Lukashenko? I don't think so. I think a lot of them are not. But also, the way their protests have been suppressed so violently and so cruelly, and then oh, thank you, Matt. Oh yes, we have achieved the goal. Yeah, I see you. Thank you, appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Дякую. Makoto arigatou gozaimasu. You know, dziękuję bardzo. What was I saying? I got lost again. Oh my god. What is happening with me today? What is happening? I don't know. It's the medicine. It's the medicine, everybody. Yeah, we'll have to live with it. I'm sorry. Lukashenko, yes. So the way the the protests have been suppressed, and then the opposition to the war in Ukraine, which they have had this entire partisan movement in Belarus, right, after 2022, after the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion, and then it was also suppressed in the most violent way. I don't think we're going to hear a lot from them, but surprisingly we still do. And they also have very active diasporas. This is important to point out with Belarus. So Poland and Lithuania both have very active Belarusian anti-Lukashenko diasporas. And Lithuania in particular is home to the leaders of the opposition. So Svetlana Tikhanovskaya and Sergei Tikhanovsky, who was recently released by Lukashenko. He was a political prisoner of Lukashenko's, and he was released after Keith Kellogg, Trump's envoy's visit to Belarus. So yeah, it definitely, the movement still exists very much, and it even has its leaders to a certain extent, I guess. And while we're on the topic of Lukashenko, everybody, I wanted to show you a video of him and Putin. So yeah, trigger warning: Lukashenko and Putin. This is them. So Putin and Lukashenko were meeting up, hanging out in the garden somewhere. Just look at them. Look at these glorious leaders. Anyway, Putin is not very happy. Putin was also giving a little speech, said a lot of things about how Ukraine is his, And Lukashenko here, okay, I'm going to translate it for you in a second. Let's just watch.
Сооружений не останется. Россияне все это потихонечку отгрызут, захватят и пойдут дальше, отвоюют.
Вернут.
Ну, вернут, да.
So what we just saw was Lukashenko saying something and then Putin kind of, sort of interfering and correcting him, right? He is correcting him in this clip. Lukashenko is talking about the Russian army and he says, basically, the gist of what he's saying is, you have to give to them whatever they want because no matter what you do, they will... the word that he's using is basically bite off whatever they want, chew off whatever they want. They will conquer whatever they want. So he uses these very aggressive verbs. And then Putin, quietly, very demure, very mindful, intervenes and says, we will take it back. So not bite off, not tear off, not grab, not conquer. We will take back what is ours, he means. And Lukashenko says, yeah, whatever you say, and starts laughing. So let's just look at this again.
Пойдут дальше, отвоюют.
Вернут.
Ну,
We will take it back. Yeah, whatever you say, pal. Putin is kind of cute when he does that crooked smile. This is gonna be slightly... Oh, thank you, Josh. What is that? Oh my god. Thank you. I've never seen that one before. Thank you so much. Wait, so first and foremost, let me be a little bit tinfoil hatty. I do not have my tinfoil hat. I have my shark cap, so I'm gonna put that on. Let's pretend this is a tinfoil hat. I think this is one of the Putins that we haven't seen in a while. If you look at him, he is smaller than the ones that we're usually seeing. His face is slightly different, his nose is slightly different. Remember how we talked that there are several clones of Putin? Yeah, I think that might be one of them. Those of you who are on YouTube, look at his ears. Look at him. Look at this old familiar Dobby the elf, the house elf, mug of his. I think that might be the real Putin. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, anyway, not to suggest that the real Putin is any cuter than, the rest of the Putins. But yeah, he's being very tactful, very demure, very mindful. And, okay, Scott had a couple questions. Do you have a sense of whether or not Russian army is short on soldiers? We're expecting to see a mobilization pretty soon. There's going to be another wave of mobilization because there's still a lot of the resources that they haven't touched upon. They're still trying to keep the war isolated from the big cities. They're still trying to keep the war isolated from certain groups of people, like, for instance, the students, right? They're not drafting certain demographics. They're trying to draft, the poor, impoverished, struggling with alcoholism, citizens of the Russian peripheral regions. So, yeah, there is still a lot of potential for that. So, which is horrifying. But this is one of the things. So, one of the people I was talking to about this recently, who's from Russia originally, pointed that out. She said, basically, whenever you have all of these, like, announcement after announcement after announcement of something being prohibited, something being cancelled, something being, like, the new horrible law being accepted after the new another horrible law, like we have seen in Russia in the last month, this usually means something bad's about to happen. And there are two main possibilities. It's either the upcoming trainings in Belarus that they're going to hold pretty soon, Lukashenko and Putin, and they're going to start something new, either here in Western Ukraine or maybe somewhere else, or there's going to be another mobilization, and then they will start something horrible. So these are the two options that a lot of people believe to be the possible scenario. And yes, they're still drafting, but it's just their current mobilization draft system is just different from what we saw before with the Wagner and the prisoners. It's slightly different. It's kind of a mix. Okay, sorry everybody. It's just, and Deb says, looks like they didn't no, they did not rehearse. They did not rehearse that one. Sorry, TikTok. Let me see what you are saying. About the cutie pootie. ASMR is the word. I like it. I like ASMR. There's protests in Belarus. Right now, I don't think so. I don't think there could be any protests in Belarus. But there used to be. There used to be massive protests. Remember years ago in 2020? I should take off the hat. Look, it has a shark on it, by the way. Do you guys see the shark on YouTube? Hopefully you can. I know. Yeah, we can call them many names, actually. We can call them Futins, we can call them Poopins. We can... but yeah, there could be many. There could be an army of Putins hiding somewhere. Who knows? Good evening, Suzanne. Already wrapping up, but if there's anything you would like to know, let me know. And not just Suzanne, all of you. If there is all of you, if there's anything you would like to know, any questions you would like answered, please let me know. But yeah, we will start gradually wrapping things up. Okay, so yeah, that was Lukashenko and Putin in the wild. We have looked at the horrible stuff. Okay, now that's enough. We have some horrible news from Kharkiv. So remember how, an hour ago there was a drone strike on Kharkiv? It's Trump, no. So yeah, we already have updates on people who were injured. So, okay, no dead people yet, that's good. But we have 5 people who were injured, including a 9-year-old boy in Kharkiv. This is the drone. Well, it's not the exact drone, but this is the type of drone. The Thunderbolt. This is Molniya drone. This is not Shahed. That hit near a residential building in Kharkiv about an hour ago. So yeah, we now get the news on the people who were injured in that strike. God. And from Kherson, as always, unfortunately, thank you, Walrus. Yeah, we haven't talked much about Kherson today, but it's unfortunately the same. So just the most recent one, shelling of the outskirts of Kherson. A 78-year-old woman is injured. And yeah, that's unfortunately something that happens daily. And just a couple hours before, there was another 67-year-old elderly man with also injuries following the Russian shelling on 29th. So yeah, unfortunately with Kherson, it's the same old story. The poor Kherson. All right. Well, I mean, as the Russians said, there is no other option, right? The RIA Novosti headline says no one should remain alive in Ukraine. That's the plan. So I guess they're gradually moving towards it. Why did Zelensky move to undermine the independence of the country's anti-corruption agency? So there were several versions for that from our media and from our civil society and just from the people altogether. But it seems like a mix of feeling that they can get away with anything, because there was apparently, according to multiple sources, a genuine feeling in the presidential office that they can get away with anything, that neither the Ukrainian people nor the European partners will care if they do something like this, and they were like, okay, why not? Another one was that it followed closely by the investigations of the said anti-corruption agencies into people very close to him. So, and according to some sources, those investigations outraged him. He was enraged by those and had the audacity of those people going after someone who is so close to him. We've talked about it last time. One of them is the co-owner of his comedy studio, the Kvartal 95 that he owns. There was another one who is our Minister of Integrity, who of course, has very little to do with integrity. But all of these are just speculation. So for now, they have agreed on returning, a version of this. They didn't cancel the last bill they have signed. They have agreed on a new one. And I guess a win is a win, but it's still not good enough because there are other multiple issues. This is not the biggest issue at hand. They still refuse to appoint the chief of the Bureau of the... Wait, how do you translate it? I wish I knew. Of the Economic Safety, another anti-corruption agency of Ukraine. And it was among the demands from the European partners. The Bureau of the Economic Safety, Security of Ukraine, I guess. And the appointment of the head of that bureau was among the demands from the European partners for aid, and I also believe it was among the demands for the next loan that we were supposed to get from the International Monetary Fund, I think, MVF. Anyway, the next loan that we were supposed to get, the deadline for that was yesterday. They didn't appoint anyone, but because they voted on this new bill granting the anti-corruption agencies the seemingly independence, this was sort of swept under the rug. Okay, maybe we didn't appoint that guy, but at least we did that. Thank you. The issue is ongoing, unfortunately. The issue is still very much happening, and it's not going away, and I don't think it will. I'm afraid. Have the Baltics completely protected themselves? That's a good question. Well, we've learned today from one of the subscribers from Lithuania, I believe, that they found the drone after 3 days. Remember that drone that we were covering that was flying randomly into Lithuania? Yeah, so now they found it. I think this kind of speaks for itself. It doesn't really showcase this great readiness, but I do know they're working on it. They're working on reinforcing their defenses, but we'll see. I'm afraid we will see in the near future. Germany just announced 2 more Patriot systems for us after the last night attack on Kyiv with 31 dead, including 5 kids. How's my garden? Thank you for asking. The garden is okay-ish. The slugs have been a plague. The slugs have been after everything we've been trying to plant. The weather also has been slightly weird, so the harvest is not as good as it usually is by this point in time. But the roses have been nice. We've been having some beautiful roses blooming, so thank you for asking. Apparently there was a corruption in the anti-corruption. That's what they keep saying. This is what they say to the world. The corruption and of course they were nowhere near perfectly efficient, but this doesn't give our government the right to strip them of independence. Just no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The last thing, really, this is... The fact that they even used that as an excuse was hilarious, and it was such a slap to our face. Our collective face. Don't even get me started on that. I will start yelling. Okay, now I promise not to talk about all of this. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Thank you. I promise not to go into too much detail about these things. Because #United24, I guess. Jesus. Okay. I'm glad the garden is in. Thank you, Tim. In Central Louisiana, even the peppers are rotting in the heat. Oh no! You see, we have the opposite issue with the humidity and the slugs. Somewhere in the middle, there should be the perfect world with perfect climate for the tomatoes and the cucumbers. Handful of cherry tomatoes every couple of weeks, and maybe beans. Beans, that's good. I think we might still have some cucumbers and we might still have some pumpkins later in the autumn. I don't want to jinx it. Ugh. Let's just hope for the best. All right, everybody. All right, everybody. I guess we will be wrapping this one up for now. I think we've done most of the questions and most of the topics that I had in plan for today. I don't know, any last moment notions, any thoughts, any feelings anyone wants to share with us? Thank you, Josh. Sampa, already wrapping up. But yeah. Thank you. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you trusting me. I really do. It means a lot. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Josh. Thank you to all of you. When will Russia stop? When they're stopped. They will only stop when they're stopped, and for now, unfortunately, they are not stopped. So I'm afraid this will continue because the Kremlin only understands power. They do not understand compromises, they do not understand diplomacy, they do not understand pretty words. They understand being stopped physically. So yeah, I know, not a very happy note to finish this on. Maybe TikTok chat has something something more positive. Thank you, Loris. Thank you. Yeah, I really should. And thank you, Forklift. Howdy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care, okay? To those of you who haven't subscribed on YouTube, please go subscribe on YouTube. Watch my Borscht video. It's funny. I don't talk about casualties there or explosions or anything. So everything is linked in bio. So is my Instagram, where I notify about my upcoming lives, but we usually go live Monday, Wednesday, Friday these days, unless something changes. If it does, I will let you know. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. I also have a backup account. It's linked in my bio as well. You can follow me on there. I will be posting much more on that one in the upcoming days, on that one and on YouTube as well. Anyway, thank you for the support. Have some tea, enjoy your weekend, enjoy yourselves, stay happy, healthy, and I will see you next time. Okay? Mwah. Thank you, TikTok. Bye-bye. Wrapping it up now. Okay, we're done with TikTok. All the wonderful people. Thank you, YouTube, too. Let me see what you guys are saying. Thank you, Direwolf and Carolyn and Scott. Thank you. That's very kind of you. And Kate and Tim and Deb. Thank you. I appreciate all of you too. Until the next time, okay? In the meantime, stay safe. Take care, okay? Have a wonderful time. And yeah, I'll catch you later. Bye, Thomas, to you too. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.